Air India. How it was started by Tata Company. Air India was the brainchild of legendary industrialist and philanthropist Jahangir Ratanji Dadabhai Tata, fondly known as JRD Tata, the first chairman of Tata Group, who was also India's first licensed pilot. His fascination quickly turned into a plan to form India's first commercial airline, and Air India was established in 1932 under the leadership of JRD Tata. He flew the first flight of Tata Airlines on October 15, 1932, a date that made aviation history. JRD famously piloted the first ever flight of the Tata Air Services from Karachi's Drig Road Aerodrome to Mumbai's Juhu Airstrip via Ahmedabad. During its first decade, the airline steadily made enormous progress. Why Tata Airlines goes with the government? Nationalization. However, it all changed in 1947. As India attained independence, nationalization became a hot topic of debate. The government went ahead with its plans to nationalize many companies, which incidentally involved Tata Airlines too. JRD Tata was completely against the idea of nationalization. He was of the view that the government of India had no experience in running an airline company, and nationalization would mean bureaucracy and lethargy, a decline in employee morale, and a fall in passenger services. A change happened from Tata Airlines to Air India. His protests fell on deaf ears as the government took a 49% stake in the carrier and renamed it Air India. In 1952, JRD Tata was left annoyed after the government nationalized Air India and several other carriers and took it out of Tata's control. JRD expressed his pain that the government had intentionally treated the Tatas badly, and that it was a planned conspiracy to suppress private civil aviation, particularly the Tata's air services. But he was reassured of no such intentions by Nehru. But in 1953, the government passed the Air Corporations Act and nationalized both the carriers. Tata Airlines was renamed as Air India after this. How Tatas managed Air India even if it was in the ownership of the government? To employ his expertise, the government invited JRD to lead Air India and Indian Airlines as chairman. After conversations at Tata Sons, JRD accepted the chairmanship of Air India and a directorship on the board of Indian Airlines. JRD would serve on both positions until 1978. However, that didn't last for long because his position came under threat after an Air India flight plunged into the sea off the coast of Bombay, killing all 213 passengers and the crew on board. And he had to resign after this. 2 years later, the government reappointed him as a member of the board, but JRD Tata lost his chairmanship. This decision impacted the business of Air India and had seen losses. However, in 1980, he was reappointed on the board of both airlines by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. He continued to serve on the boards till 1986, the year in which Ratan Tata, JRD's successor, took over as the chairman of Air India eventually in 1986. Why Air India made a huge loss? Since the 1990s, the profit steadily declined, and by 2012, Air India accumulated Rs 63,000 crore in debt and losses. Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG, pointed out numerous holes in the government version that state-owned Air India is on a path to turn around its fortunes. The auditor said that the airline has failed to achieve many of the objectives in various functional areas directed under the Financial Restructuring Plan, which provided equity infusion of rupees 30,231 crore till financial year 21. This failure resulted in less revenue generation for the airline, leading to requirement of more short-term loans for the airline, which eroded the benefit of Financial Restructuring Plan. Main reasons were less income in passenger revenue due to its own inefficiency, low monetization of assets, non-availability of proper aircraft. How Air India came back to Tata's again. The centre announced that Tata Sons has been selected as the winning bidder to take over state-run carrier Air India, marking the end of years of struggle to privatize the financially troubled airline. Tata Sons, the holding company for the autos to steel Tata conglomerate, bid 180 billion rupees, that is $2.40 billion, for the government's 100% stake in Air India, said Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Secretary to the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, DIPAM. The challenges that Tata faced and how they are making Air India profitable. So now we take a look at the major challenges which Tata faced, and they come with fast and productive solutions. As Air India takes off to reclaim its lost glory under the Tata Group, it will face turbulence in the form of major challenges that need to be addressed. The Tatas have taken over the airline at the worst possible time. According to media reports, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and high fuel costs, India's airlines are forecast to be headed for their biggest ever losses of over 20,000 crore rupees in this financial year. Now that they are back in Air India's cockpit, the Tatas aim to provide enhanced in-flight services and improved on-time performance. They also have to foster corporate culture among the airline's employees. According to a Business Daily, issues such as older aircraft and inferior cabin products also need to be addressed. Next comes the upgrade and maintenance of the fleet. While Air India has a fleet of 141 aircraft, a mix of narrow and wide-body Airbus and Boeing aircraft, the airline has agreed to hand over only 118 of them in flyworthy condition to Tatas. Air India also faces a severe shortage of parts and engines for the 787 fleet. Tatas have found that at any given time, there were at least 5 787s lying unused due to the unavailability of engines. An equally important challenge is how the Tata Group will structure its aviation interests. And there are a lot of things to tackle, and many of them resolved also. As the Air India come back in Tata Group this year, so they'll come back with all improvements. Conclusion: in a recent and widely shared tweet, dairy giant Amul has summed up Air India's takeover very well, with the famous Amul girl sharing a plane's cockpit with Tata Sons chairperson N. Chandrasekaran and Maharaja. A tagline in the advertisement says, "In good hands." Tata Group, which owns Tetley Tea to Jaguar Land Rover, may turn Air India into a profitable venture soon. I hope you liked the story. Thanks for watching my video.